Hello, everyone. The purpose of this video is to go over midterm number 2 that's coming up on Saturday. Although this video is prepared for the winter quarter, the contents I will be discussing will be true for spring quarter or fall quarter as well. Obviously, the date of the midterm will be different, but the contents, the number of chapters covered, the number of questions covered, how to prepare for the midterm will be all the same. So let's start by sharing the screen. We're going to go over how to prepare for the midterm that is coming up on Saturday. I am going to share my screen with you by going to your class, and I'm going to click on home page. When you go to the home page, you will see the weekly announcement that I make. And then if you scroll down, you will see a date. You will see a rather live link for midterm number 2. And so I'm going to click on midterm number 2 reminder now. And that will take me to modules. You can also go to modules directly and scroll down until you see midterm number 2 reminder link. So I'm going to click on that. And this is that the midterm will take place on Saturday. It consists of 3 chapters. On chapters 14, 15, and 16. Often I'm asked how many questions will be out of every chapter. Would I select out of every chapter? And the answer is it will be almost equal number of questions out of every chapter. The questions, as I mentioned, so for example, for this midterm, we are talking about 3 chapters, 40 questions. So there will be about maybe 13 questions from every chapter, and perhaps one chapter will have 14 questions in it. And then the questions will be in form of multiple choice as well as a few true false. And sometimes I have an essay type question. And if I have an essay type question, it will be either in form of an essay or a problem solving. What would be an example of an essay question? That would be, for example, I'd ask, define the account retained earnings. And your answer would be retained earnings is a stockholder's equity account, and it usually carries a normal credit balance. So that's it. It's very simple, straightforward. Or I may give you a problem-solving question where I will give you, for example, the amount of retained earnings at the beginning of the year. I will tell you the company had this much of net income, the amount of cash dividends was this much, and I want you to determine the ending of retained earnings. So then you will do your calculation on a scratch paper and will arrive at the answer. But you have to show me how you arrive at the answer. Okay? So that would be in case you will have an essay type question. So how to prepare for the midterm? Number 1, download the midterm number one review that I have prepared for you, which consists of more than 40 questions in it, even though the midterm itself has 40 questions, but I always include more questions in the review because I really feel practice makes perfect. The more questions you practice with, the better prepared you are for the midterm. Okay, so I'm going to download the midterm review, and always use the down arrow key to download the midterm. And I am going to now share my screen. Let's see if I can share my screen. Let's see, I think I need to go share. There you go. So this is, let me just make this slide. So this would be midterm number 2 review. And as I mentioned, always look at the questions first before you look at the answer key. So now I'm going to open the answer key, and let's go ahead and open the answer key. There you go. And I'm going to share my screen again. Look at the answer key. Okay, so here's the answer key. Again, I urge you not to look at the answer key first. Oh, it says the share window is closed. I have no idea. Okay, so let's try again. Share. All right, I think now it's working. And I was mentioning, I don't know why it closes the screen. Let's see. What if I go share? Okay, so hopefully this should do it. So look at the review questions first, solve each problem, then I want you to look at the answer key. So to prepare for the midterm, number 1, download the review, go through all the questions. I think on this review, I have about 40 some questions, 49 questions. And then look at the answer key. Then let's go back, assuming that Zoom is going to let me go back. Let's see. All right, hopefully you will see my screen. Then I want you to also follow what I said here, which is look at the check your understanding. Check your understanding would be at the end of your textbook. At the end of every chapter, you will see a problem. I urge you to solve the problem. You will get so much out of it because that problem is really the essence of that chapter. It's the gist of the chapter, the focus of the chapter. So what I like about that problem is that it also has the solutions. So you go to the end of, say, chapter 14, you solve the problem, which is called check your understanding, and then look at the solutions. Then there's also, in the same place at the end of every chapter, there is what's called a quick check, which consists of, I believe, about 10 multiple choice questions. So I want you to go through those as well and look at the answer key. And then the next thing is to do DSM, Dynamic Study Module. And to do Dynamic Study Module, you want to go to MyLab and Mastering. So if you click on the link to the left of the screen in the navigation box, it's going to take us to, there you go, to Pearson, MyLab and Mastering. And then I'm going to scroll down to see Multimedia Library, and then click on that, click on Multimedia Library. And now I want to select, say, chapter 14. So let's go ahead, select chapter 14, and then find flashcards and click on flashcards and say find now. Select the box that says find now. So I am going to select that. And then you will see two sets of flashcards. Always go to the second one, which is a specific for that chapter. So I'm going to go to chapter 14. I'm going to make my screen slightly larger so I can, so you can see it. And hopefully you are able to see this. And let's do the first question, amortization schedule. I'm going to select that question and now go to study now. And it says amortization schedule. Now let's click on the answer. It says a schedule that details each loan payment allocation between principal and interest and the beginning and ending loan balances. And I'm going to say that answer is correct. So I will select the correct check mark, and there you have it. It says I'm correct. Yeah. So you can go through all the questions. I'll just went through one of them just as a sample. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. And then let's go back to, while you're here, actually, then the other thing I want you to do is do the dynamic study module. Dynamic study module would be under assignments and results. So I'm going to click on assignments and results. And then you click on results. Now, if you have done the dynamic study model, as you know, I always assign that as an optional homework, as an extra credit assignment. So if you have done that, then you should be able to see the result, and then you can just take the take a look at the questions again. I'm going to click on it. I will not see anything because I didn't do any of the DSMs. So if I click on it, as you can see, I will see nothing, but you should be able to see what you have done in the past with regards to chapter 14, 15, and 16. Okay. So those are the two items that I want you to complete while you are in MyLab and Mastering in Pearson's MyAccounting Lab. Now I'm going to go back to Canvas and take a look at modules again. And I'm scrolling down to see midterm number 2 review. And so what else did, it says, so we did interactive quiz, which is really the flashcards. I should actually just change the name of interactive quiz to flashcards so you know it's the same thing. And then it also says to do demo doc. If you have time, I would do demo doc. I also want you to do one more, take one more quiz, and that would be out of the 10 questions that I have included at the end of every one of my lecture notes. So I'm going to go to modules, click on modules once more, and scroll down until you see chapters 10 through 17 lecture in MS Word, Microsoft Word. I'm going to go to chapter 14 and down arrow key as always. So I will be downloading it. Here you go. And first of all, you can just do a quick review of chapter 14 here because it's summarized. So it's nice to have that. And then take the quiz. See, it's a 10 question quiz that you can take, and you will see the answers here. If unfortunately these quizzes, I took them from the test bank that the publisher provides for the faculty. They do not have the solutions in a step-by-step format, so you can see how they arrived at the answer A or B or C. But if you go through them and you cannot find the answer and you do not understand why the answer for question 1, for example, is A, then come to my office hours and we'll solve the problem step by step. We'll solve it together, okay? But I do recommend that you go over these 10 questions as well, because they're out of the test bank, the very same test bank that I select your 40 midterm questions out of. All right, and that is, let's go back to now modules and go back to midterm number 2 review. I'm sorry, not midterm number 2 review, midterm number 2 reminder, which also includes the review. So let's one more try. There you go. Midterm number 2 reminder. All right. And as I said, if you have time, do demo doc, but that would be the last item you do. Now I'm going to show you what the midterm actually looks like. I said the midterm consists of some true, false, multiple choice questions. So let's go to the midterm. Whoops. All right, let's try again. I'm going to go to the assignments. And here's your midterm number 2. Now, obviously, if you click on it before the window opens, it says it's locked. But I'm able to show you some of the questions by clicking on preview. So I have a slightly different interface than you do. I would be able to see obviously the questions ahead of time. So this is an example of a problem-solving question, which is in form of multiple choice. And then I'm going to scroll down so you can see some true-false questions. This is when a bond is issued at a price higher than face value. The difference is known as, so we'll give you 4 choices. And in this example, the difference is a premium bond. When it's issued and the issuer, the corporation or the government, receive more than $1,000, because the par value of the bond is $1,000. If they get more than $1,000, and that means this is a premium bond. The difference between the par value, which is $1,000, and the amount of cash received by the issuer, which is either, if it's corporate bond, it will be a corporation. If it's government bond, it will be government, whether it's federal government or state government. State also issues what we call muni bonds, so municipal bonds. Anyway, the difference between the two, we call it premium, okay? So you will see a lot of questions like that. And in general, 40 questions altogether. You have 2 hours. Although you have 7 hours where the window for the test will stay open, but you have 2 hours within the 7 hours to take the midterm. So once you start with saying question number 1, the clock starts ticking. And then if, let's say it's 4 o'clock and you haven't submitted yet, the link to the midterm closes at 4 p.m. Then the midterm automatically submits your test for you, okay? All right, I think on that note, I'm going to stop sharing, and that should take care of the midterm that's coming up on Saturday. I wish you all the best on the midterm. Bye, everyone.